So now that we have the contact model in this application, we're ready to start building the user interface. If we go to the page at the moment, we just have this header that says Contact Manager. We want to now change this page up and add some new features. Now what we want to display on this page are the user's contacts. So imagine you log into this application and you see all of the contacts that you've added in the past appearing in a table on this page. Let's set that up just now and go back to VS Code. And what we're going to do is go to the application views. And at the top of the page, I'm going to bring in the login required decorator from Django. And above the view here, we're going to decorate this index view with the login required decorator. Now the reason for this is we're going to take the authenticated user, which is available in Django as request.user. And we're going to fetch that user's contacts using a database query in Django. So let's create a variable here called contacts, and we're going to reference request.user. And we're going to reference the related name that we added of contacts, and we're going to get all of the user's contacts. So if you're wondering what .contacts is on the user model, if we go back to models.py, here we have the contact model, and the foreign key to the parent user is here. But when we want to go in the other direction from a user and get their contacts, we have this related name of contacts that we add here in this statement. And we can then simply add a key to the context called contacts and reference that value that we're pulling out on line 7 from the database. And that's going to be a list or a query set of contacts. Now by adding those to the context, that means that in this template we can reference the contacts and iterate over them and display them in a table, for example. Before we do that, I'm going to add a .order by to this statement here. And we're going to order by the most recently added contact first. And we can do that by using the created at field on the contact model. And by adding the minus in front of that in the Django notation, that means that it's going to be in descending order. So the most recently created contacts are going to be at the top of this query set. So let's now go to contacts.html, and we're going to take these contacts and we're going to display them on the page. Now actually what I'm going to do is create what's called a partial, and this is for HTMX usage. So what I'm going to do in the templates directory is create a partials subdirectory, and within that let's create a new file here, and this is going to be a template partial that we're going to call contactlist.html. Now let me explain what we're going to do here. So the actual list, or in this case it's going to be a table of contacts, the HTML markup for that is going to be contained in this file, and that's because later on when we use HTMX, we're going to return these fragments as part of a response. So we can create the partial, and you'll often hear it called a template fragment as well, and you can encapsulate the code you want to return as an HTMX response in these partials. So what I'm going to do to start with here is create a div at the top with an ID of contacts list, and we're going to have the markup for our actual table of contacts within this. Now we need to check if we have contacts first, so we're going to add an if statement here in the Django template language. So we're checking if we have contacts in the context that we're passing to the template. In other words, did the database have any contacts for request.user? So if that's true, we're going to render a table here in the contact list partial. So I'm going to add another enclosing div here, and we'll close that off at the bottom, and we're going to put the table inside this div here. Let's create an HTML table element, and we're going to use some classes from Daisy UI, and that's the table and the table zebra class. And I'm going to use another one called table pin rows. Once we've added that, we can close off the HTML table. And let's quickly reference the Daisy UI documentation on tables. So for a table element, the component class is table, and we have these modifiers. So table zebra is going to add the zebra stripe rows to the table. And we also added table pin rows. And what that's going to do is it's going to make all of the rows inside the table head and the table foot elements sticky on the page. So now that we have the table, let's add a table head element here, and I'm going to paste this code in, and we're going to reference this. So we have a table head, and the table headers here are in this table row. We want the name of the contact, the email address, and the time that that contact was created. And I'm going to add another column for actions that we're going to use later in the series. Below the table head, what we can do is then create a table body element for displaying the actual information in this table. So what we need to do within the table body is we need to iterate over all of the contacts that we have in the context for this template. So for each contact in the contacts, what we're going to do is we're going to render a table row. So that's going to be a TR element, and I'm going to close this off just below here. And within each row, what we're going to do is add some table data. So first of all, we have the contact that we're iterating over. We're going to reference the name of that contact. That's going to be the first row. And I'm going to copy this down a couple of more times. And for the email address, we want to reference the email field on the contact model. And finally, we want to reference the time that that contact was created. which is available on the model as the created@ field. So that's 3 out of 4 columns, but we also had this column here for actions. What I'm going to do is paste some code in here, and what we have here is another table data, and inside that a button here with the text delete and some classes from Daisy UI. So later on in the series we're going to use HTMX to delete a contact from this table, so that is a placeholder for now for that action that we're going to add later in the series. So that is our table here, and what we're going to do is we're going to check if we have contacts, and that's what we're going to render here. But what if we don't have contacts? What we can do is add an else clause here, and we can render some text if we have no contacts in the database. And let's display a message here saying no contacts found, and I want to do that within an alert component in Daisy UI. Now if we scroll down here, we can use this color here, for example. If we wanted to show an error or a warning would be this yellow color. I'm just going to use the info color, which is a kind of blue color here. So let's look at the HTML for that. And I'm going to copy this HTML, and let's go back to our template here and paste this in. And we can change the text that's within this, and I'm going to put no contacts found instead of what we have from the documentation. And once we've added that, we have this contact list.html fragment, or this template partial. We can then go back to the parent template that we're going to add this to, and that's contacts.html. And all we need to do here underneath the h1 tag is use the include template tag in Django, and we can reference the path to our new partial. So that's in the partials directory, and the name is contact list.html. Let's now test this out by running the Django development server and going back to the application. And I've logged into the application's admin UI with my admin user, and that's important because remember the Django view that we're working with, if we go back to this, it requires an authenticated user. It requires that session to be created and the user to be in the database. So we need to log in, and currently the only way to do that is via the admin. So make sure you create a super user, log in with the admin, and then you can go back to the page. And this time we get the message that no contacts were found. That makes sense because we haven't added any contacts to the database. Let's go back to the Django admin, and I'm going to add a contact here. So we're adding John Doe, and we have an email address here, and the user that John Doe belongs to as a contact is going to be this admin user. So let's save that, and then once we've saved it, go back to the application, and when we refresh this, we now get the contact appearing on the page. So that's all working now, and if we were to add another contact, we would get that appearing in the table as well. The last thing I want to do in this video is look at the created@ time that we have here, and we're going to use the date template filter in Django to change the way that this is displayed. We don't need the time component here. Let's just say we're only interested in the date. Let's go back to the template that we have here and go back to this created@. So in order to use the date filter, we can use this pipe here, and then we're going to use the date filter, and what we pass to that is the format of the date. So I want the month and then the day and then a comma and the year. So if we save that and go back to the template again and refresh this page, you can see we get this format instead. We have the month and we have the abbreviated form of the month, and we get the day here and the year. So that's just a quick primer on how to use the date template filter if you want to customize how a date time is shown in the UI. So up until now, we've not used HTMX anywhere in this project, but we're going to start using HTMX in the next video. And what we're going to build is some search functionality. So let's say we have lots of contacts in the database and we want to find a particular user or a particular contact. We don't want to look through a huge list and potentially a paginated page of contacts. Instead, what we're going to add is a search bar, and it's going to use HTMX to search for a given contact and return those to the user. So that's where we're going to start using HTMX, and we're going to introduce some attributes and some modifiers. So that's coming up, and we'll see you in the next video.